Yo, what's goody? This your boy Hoodie Kush here with the Basement Boys. How's everybody this evening? How's everybody this evening? We ain't gonna talk about too much. You know what I'm saying? Got a few things I wanted to hop in and talk about tonight before our final preseason game. What's goody, Dak Owens? How you, bro? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? It costs you nothing to be kind. I'm talking about. I just wanted to hop on and talk about a few things in lieu of, our final preseason game and then getting into the final roster cuts. Um, uh, you know, I'm not really. Again, if you heard me on Law's channel earlier, I'm really not in let's talk about Philly mode. I'm more or less on still in evaluation mode. You know what I'm saying? Because we got people we need to see. I mean, spots are not solidified. There's dudes in danger of being, chopped and screwed. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta see what happens. So the final preseason game is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I think I might go solo dolo because I'll be at work just like I am now. So I think I might just go solo dolo. Um, we get to face Ben DiNucci tomorrow. Now, am I going to say we are hard out? Judging from the past couple of games, we had shoddy quarterback play. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't all bad. We can again, we have to understand it's an evaluation process for everyone. You know what I'm saying? The quarterbacks, the wide receivers, running backs, offensive line, everything on the offense, because that's been the spot where we've had the most the most issues during the preseason. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like saying that the wide receivers were bad because they weren't. The wide receivers were getting open. Joe Milton just couldn't hit him. Now, I mean, according to him, he doesn't throw the ball hard. And you're a wide receiver, so you should be able to catch it. Now, I was a wide receiver at one point, and the rule is if you can touch it, you can catch it. That was the rule. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, your quarterback has to at least give you a friendly ball to catch. You know what I'm saying? So just I'm hoping to see from Joe Milton tomorrow that he's a little bit more calm in his demeanor and he's ready to play some good ball. You know what I'm saying? I understand that he has issues with his processing because if he didn't, then he wouldn't be ready to take off almost every time when the first read isn't open. But if if you if you go back and watch these games, if you can remember back watching these games, these dudes were pretty much open. It's just he's not trusting his eyes, and that's the issue. He's not trusting his eyes. So hopefully tomorrow we get a better Joe Milton. I would like to see what Will Greer has. I mean, it's not that we don't know, but still, he needs to get loose too. Because if you ask me, I don't think Joe Milton's the QB2. I think Will Greer is. Just given from past experience with the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's played NFL football. Joe Milton has very little experience with the NFL. He played one game that was just the last game of the season, and yeah, he balled out. And I mean, maybe the bright lights of Dallas are getting to him. You know what I mean, the fact that the spotlight's on him is causing an issue. It's causing him not to not to follow his reads as well. But whatever it is, he has to rein it in. He has to, because if he doesn't, then we're in fear of losing another game, which preseason I don't give a shit about. But it also enables me to actually get a good read on these wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Because again, final cuts are next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I think Joe Milton's lack of success in these past two games have dampened Ryan Flournoy, because if you ask me, that guy's been open the past 2 games every time, and he can't get the ball to him. You know what I'm saying? Cropper, that's a different conversation. Joe just needs to settle down. He needs to settle down, put a little touch on the ball, just to understand what he's doing, what he's seeing. You know what I'm saying? I want him to trust his eyes, but I don't want him to trust his eyes so much that he puts the ball in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about that. I mean, now we're gonna see some players tomorrow. A guy named Nate Carter. From what I've seen, look at his stats, he's a rookie, coming in fighting for a spot, and we shall see what he has. I mean, Nate Carter. I mean, I don't really know too much about him. I guess I'm gonna have to go watch film. But looking at his stats, he's been very serviceable. I'm not sure what the Atlanta Falcons offensive line looks like. I mean, they're 0-2 just like we are. So this might be an opportunity for the defensive line to actually get some pass rush. This might be an opportunity for Amazi Smith to actually show what Eberflus wants out of this attacking front. If you ask me, I already know what I already have a good view of what Jay Toia is. You know what I'm saying? Big trash can full of dirt. You can tell his get off is astronomical. You know what I'm saying? Compared to what we've seen from Mozzie. He eats up the double teams. He can shed blocks and try to make a play. He gets to the play. Does he make it? No, not all the time, but he gets to the play, So I mean, it's not completely impossible for this guy to actually work with an attacking front. Again, don't know what the Falcons' offensive line looks like. They have a couple of wide receivers to look at. They got a couple of wide receivers to look at. Nick Nash, he's a speedster. Something Blair. I can't quite put my finger on his first name, but yeah, he's another one. You know what I'm saying? Are we going to see Drake London, Ray McLeod? Are we going to see the Bijan Rep? Probably Tyler Algier, but we won't see those guys. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this defense has a better outing as a whole. Hopefully the defense has a better outing as a whole in order to have some sort of team success. Now, again, I'm not really worried about team success in the playoff, in the preseason. What I'm worried about is individual success. Who can stand out? Who can make the 53 or at least make the conversation hard? You know what I'm saying? Listen to Vach and Brian today, and the conversation was about the Jalen Tolberts of the worlds, the Sam Williams of the worlds, the Mozzie Smiths, of course. Everybody's a little low on Mozzie. I think Mozzie does his job, maybe not as well as we would like, but I believe Mozzie does his job. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why we can't have some sort of team success mixed with the individual success come tomorrow. If it looks like more of the same, then we got to go back and retweak some things. Pardon me. Pardon me. I think I got another one in there. Sorry, kids got me sick. Daycare cold. It is what it is. But I gotta at least be here to give you guys, some tangible information. I'm looking at. I'm tomorrow. I'm going to be watching Andrew Booth and Zion Childress. Andrew Booth, Zion Childress, and Keemon Hall in the secondary. Those are the guys I'm going to watch tomorrow. Two of those guys have a lot to lose. One of those guys has a lot to gain. Because if you ask me, I think Zion Childress makes this team. Just from his play alone, I think Zion Childress makes this team. Now, when we're talking about the Andrew Booths and the Keemon Halls, yeah, we have issues with depth, right? We have issues with the depth. But that's not to say that, one of these guys can't make a play. Now, Andrew Booth got us a pick six last week. Kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? That's some of the best play I've seen from him. Quarterbacks know that's where you go with the ball. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go anywhere with the ball, and exactly, that's my point. I think he probably did force his way on his team with that interception. As far as depth is concerned, because if you ask me, I don't think he'll be starting. You know what I'm saying? You still have Deron Bland, you got Kyer Elam, you know what I'm saying? Israel McQuamu if need be. You know what I'm saying? But Booth definitely probably snuck his way. He forced his way on this roster just with that pick six. I mean, if you want, you can almost say the same about Keemon Hall with his interception. Granted, it didn't produce points either way because the offense didn't score. You know what I'm saying? But it at least shows that he can make a play. It shows that he has some form of football savvy that he can make a play. I'm of the mindset that you're gonna have me personally. You're gonna have Israel McQuamu playing in the slot. I think that's where he would be more successful at. Now, granted, he's if you look at his size, his measurements, his measurables, he is a boundary corner to the core. You know what I'm saying? What is he? He's like 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 215, 220. That's a boundary corner. He's got length, he's got size, he's got some speed, and he has some football savvy. We've seen what Israel McQuamu could do in the past. You know what I'm saying? And it showed itself again in the Ravens game. Granted, he played a lot of safety last week. Like, very little came his way. I think that's a good thing if you're out there and very little comes your way. That means the quarterbacks understand you're not to be trifled with. You know what I'm saying? So that's as far as the defense is concerned. Linebackers, I'm not worried. I mean, let's see if Shamar James and Damone Clark can continue to stack days. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the final hurrah before cut season. You know what I'm saying? Cut season starts Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So this is the last hurrah. You know, these guys have to go out there and they have to give everything. Now, we're going to see, Shamar James. I think Shamar James cemented himself on this team, especially with depth. I think he cemented himself. We all know Maris Leofau cemented himself. James Houston. James Houston is the one. James Houston is the prospect that I'm looking at. Now, granted, he's a vet. He's been in the league, but James Houston is the guy I'm looking at, right? That's one of the guys I'm looking at on the defensive line, okay, as an edge rusher. Now, we are top heavy with the edge. You know. Micah, Nealon, Sam Williams, Donovan Ezeraku, you know what I'm saying? We are top heavy. But I don't think there is any way, if we don't see, unfortunately, I think Sam is in danger. Now, coming off the injury, that probably has a lot to do with it. But I think Sam is in danger. James Houston has showed us some things in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? He's got moves on moves. He's got power. He's got speed. You know what I'm saying? Watching them put a left tackle on their pockets last week was phenomenal to me. You know? So I think James Houston may push to make this team, or at least he's making it hard. He's making the coaching staff have a conversation. He's making the front office have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Zion Childress as a UDFA. He's making the conversation hard to have. You know what I'm saying? He definitely is. If we go over to the offensive side, unfortunately, Mingo getting hurt cemented Jalen Tolbert, Ryan Flanoy, and Jalen Brooks. Now, the only reason why I would say Jalen Brooks and Ryan Flanoy is because they both do well in special teams. You've seen big plays out of Jalen Brooks, and you've seen Ryan Flanoy not be rewarded for his efforts in getting open, because he's been open every game, all game. They just can't get the ball to him. They're either being sailed over his head, or put behind him. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately for him, that's the case. He hasn't been rewarded for his efforts. But I think if you have Will Grier in, I think you'll see some things where he will be rewarded for his efforts. If we're going to talk about the offensive line depth, I think the offensive line depth is pretty good. They've given up 2 sacks all preseason. Now, I'm not saying that they should be okay with that. I don't want any sacks. I don't want any pressures. But if you look at these guys individually, you know, the Tyler Bookers, the TJ Basses of the world, you know, the Brock Hoffman even. These guys have been really good. They've been opening up running lanes. You know, they've been doing really good in pass pro. Even the running back stepping up in pass pro in blitz protection. You know what I'm saying? Again, you just need your quarterback to be on point. If he's not on point, all your efforts are for naught. You know what I'm saying? We've had 2 games where we had completely slow starts offensively. We can't have that this game. I want to see progression this game. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to talk about the tight ends, the tight end room, Schoonmaker is doing himself no favors. By being injured yet again, he is doing himself 0 favors. And that's allowing a guy like Rivaldo Fairweather to come in and cement his claim. You know what I'm saying? That's given Rivaldo Fairweather, who's made plays consistently in the preseason, you know what I'm saying, with Joe Milton. You know what I'm saying? So he's been making plays consistently within the preseason. You know, I think personally, Schoonmaker's the odd man out. I think Brevin Spanford, given his size, the fact that he's developed better hands, and we already know he can block the ball, 6'7", 270. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing with that? What are you doing with that in the pass game? I don't think anybody, especially if you can high point the ball, what are you doing with that? You're not really doing much of nothing. He's a red zone target. You know what I'm saying? He's a red zone he's a red zone target, and he's a goal line target. You know, he's a big body, so that helps. I would love to stop drafting Michigan guys. Okay, I'm a Penn State fan. Okay, I hold Penn State dear to my heart. Okay, and I am so sick and tired of seeing us grab Michigan guys because they're like, we're looking at them playing in Michigan, but then when they get here, it's like, did they play in Michigan, or did they play in Michigan? One of the sister schools to Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand it. It's hurting my soul. You know what I'm saying? But we have what we have. We have what we have. You know, I mean, there's some good players who came out of Michigan. They don't do a goddamn thing. They don't do a goddamn thing with the Cowboys. I don't understand why. I don't know what for. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at okay. All righty. I figured I would have more viewers in here, but it is what it is. Jordan Lewis, the only half decent one we draft for sure. Facts. He is literally probably the only bright spot we've had on this team out of Michigan. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to, let's talk about the running backs. This is the topic of discussion. This is the one that does something that does something for me. Okay. I have a gripe. We've seen Miles Sanders. We've seen Phil Maffa. We haven't seen Jay Will. We haven't seen Jadon Blue. We'll see him tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe even sprinkle in a little Jay Will. You know what I'm saying? But we haven't seen those guys. We've seen Phil Maffa. We've seen Miles Sanders. We've even seen Malik Davis. What is everybody's problem with Malik Davis? I need to know. I need to know what is everybody's problem with Malik Davis. It's like no matter who's having the conversation, Malik Davis is left out. but Malik Davis has given you the best production since he walked back onto the team after being on the sofa for an entire year. So what is everybody's deal with Malik Davis? 8 carries for 68 yards. That constitutes 8.2 yards a carry. Phil Maffa, he showed that he's got some vision, some burst. But none of these other running backs have, in less carries, have put on the workload or put up the production that Malik Davis has. What is everybody's problem with Malik Davis? I need to know. The previous coaching staff shit on Malik Davis. I'm of the belief if we played Malik Davis when Pollard went down in the playoffs against San Francisco, we have a chance to win that game. But for some odd reason, whatever tiff that Malik Davis and Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy had prevented him from getting on the field. What is everyone's problem with Malik? It's sort of like, what's everybody's problem with Israel Mukuamu? You know what I'm saying? We've seen this dude shut down Chris Godwin in the playoffs, and you mean to tell me you won't play him? What is everybody's problem with these people? Like, it can't be attitude, because if Shotty wants physicality and Shotty wants dogs, those are the type of attitudes I want. Those are the type of attitudes that are needed, because that type of shit rolls through the team. Everybody adopts that same attitude, and maybe we'll play better. You know what I'm saying? As a whole, what is everybody's problem with Malik Davis? I need to know. If anybody can definitively answer that question, from what we've seen, Miles Sanders will bobble the ball, lose 4 yards, and that'll be it. He had one really good run last week, and that was running behind Tyler Booker when he finally chose the right hole, when he finally chose the right lane to run through. We've seen one. Everybody's saying, like, I heard people say, well, the offensive line should block better. How can you say that when in 8 carries for a dude who just got off of the sofa, comes in and runs 8 carries for 68 yards? How can you say that the offensive line needs to block better? How can you say that when Phil Maffa, a rookie, comes in a preseason game, runs 11 times, and then averages 3 point whatever yards a carry? How can you say that? All right, are there deficiencies on the O-line? Did some assignments get missed? Of course, nobody's perfect. Not one unit on this team is perfect. Not one. Maybe the linebackers, but even they have their imperfections. You know what I'm saying? Not one. So to say that, oh, well, Javonte Williams is cemented, Jadon Blue is cemented, now the conversation is Phil Maffa or Miles Sanders. No, the conversation is Phil Maffa or Malik Davis. The conversation is Malik Davis or Deuce Vaughn. I mean, that's the conversation from what I'm seeing. Maybe we'll see more of Malik tomorrow. We don't know what Arizona's defensive line is going to look like, because just like us, they're running out backups and guys like that. But if our backups can dominate their backups, that should bode well, correct? That should bode well. If that's the case, and last week we were playing nothing but backups, and Miles Sanders looked like dumpster fire. He looked like he did in Carolina. He did. I'm just going to be honest. He looked exactly like he did in Carolina. But yet, a rookie can come in and average 3.8 yards a carry. A dude could come in off the sofa and average 8 yards a carry. That's a problem that he's not being talked about. I was elated to hear Shotty say, I was not surprised by Malik Davis's production. It's just a wonder to me how he hasn't been on someone's team. You want to be a running team? You want to go get the best runners. I don't give a damn about a name. I don't. I can tell you right now, we're not going to get 2022 Miles Sanders. I can tell you that right now. Just looking at how he played against backups, I can tell you right now, we're not getting 2022 Miles Sanders. The last time we saw Malik Davis before last year or before this year, Malik Davis was making his name running against the Rams, running against Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And he had really good games. He had really good games. Were they Tony Pollard games? No. But he had really good games in 2023. He did. He had really good games in 2022. We move on from him or throw him on the practice squad to bring up Rico Dowdle. Now, I enjoyed Rico Dowdle last year. Could he have done better? Yes. Could the offensive line have blocked better? Yes. But for him to still have 1,000 yards should say something. Now, if you'd have stopped playing with your lunch and just sat Zeke left Zeke where the hell he was and let Malik Davis, I don't know what it was about Malik Davis that nobody wanted to give this kid a shot. If I'm seeing production from this kid, that's the kind of guy I want on my team. I don't understand it. I really don't. So that's what I'm looking for as far as tomorrow's preseason game. Again, it's the last hurrah for a lot of dudes. Shadi says he's got some surprises coming, surprise cuts, probably surprise roster moves, guys sticking around on the team. But understand this. There's a lot of pieces that we may have. There's a few pieces that we may have questions about. And to answer those questions, I'll say this. Maybe that guy isn't on this team right now. Maybe that guy isn't on this team right now. Maybe we don't have the nickel cornerback on this team right now. Maybe we don't have that bell cow back on this team right now. Maybe right now we don't have that backup quarterback on this team right now. That third wide receiver on this team right now. Even though we know Turpin. We know Turpin's going to make his hay. We know now that Mingo's hurt, Jalen Tolbert is sticking around. We know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? But how can we sit here and play with our food like this just because it's a name? Like that's one of my gripes with Cowboys Nation. I love y'all to death. I love being a Cowboy. I do. Been a Cowboy 43 years. Come October, it'll be 44. Okay? I'm on almost every live stream. I'm on almost everybody's channel. Almost everybody's channel, and I'm always showing love. I try to give my takes the best way I can. Again, I am not an expert, a football savant. I don't know shit about cut splits and all that. I don't know a damn thing about it, but I can tell you what I see because we're watching the same thing. I can tell you what I see. And what I see is, for some reason, Cowboys Nation falls in love with names. We fall in love with names. It's sort of like draft season, right? Where everybody was saying, "Oh, the Cowboys better go get Ashton Genty. They better go get Teteroya McMillan. They better go get this and go get that." Well, our board isn't their board. What we want isn't what they need. I don't give a damn about a name. I really don't. I don't give a damn about a name. Tony Romo was an undrafted free agent. We lucked into that. Dak Prescott was a fourth-round pick. We lucked into that. We really did. If we cared about names, why we go get Luke Schoonmaker? If we cared about names, why we go get Mozzie Smith in the first round when we could have got an offensive lineman then? If we cared about names, why did we go get Tyler Guyton but not retain Tyron Smith? You retain Tyron Smith if you're going to go get Tyler Guyton. And so Tyler Guyton has an all-star dude to work behind, to learn from. Zach Martin, different scenario. He retired. So we had to go out and do that. Now we're talking about running backs and how the past couple of years we don't value running backs, but yet you'll go out there and get a name that's washed. I'm not saying that Miles Sanders doesn't have anything left in the tank, but if we're looking at the difference between 2022 Miles Sanders when they went to the Super Bowl to 2023, 2024 Miles Sanders, stark difference. Stark difference. Stark difference. And it looks like we're getting more of the 2024, 2023 Miles Sanders. That's what it looks like. And that's not what I want on this team because it's like we're moving backwards. I don't want to move backwards. We're trying to move ahead. If you want to be the best, if you want to be a running football team, get the best runners on the team. Fuck the name. Fuck the name. I don't give a shit about the name. If Israel Bonaconda can come on this team and go 1,400 yards this season, I am A-okay with it. If we go out there and get Breece Hall and all he gets is 500 yards, was that worth picking up because of his name? I don't think it is. I honestly don't think it is. So damn the name. If they're good at their position, that's who you run with. Jalen Tolbert's a name at this point. I don't want him sticking around if his claim to fame is by proxy leading the team, leading the receivers in touchdowns. That's by proxy. You have C.D. Lamb, who had an AC joint injury, and all we had left was Jalen Tolbert. That's by proxy. By the time we got Mingo going, we had a quarterback who couldn't get him the ball. You didn't give Ryan Flournoy the opportunities. Jalen Brooks was just tripping everywhere, causing interceptions. So if you're going to sit here and want to keep guys based on things that they've done, especially after getting George, that's foolish. I think it's foolish. I think it's foolish. Give Malik Davis his opportunity. He deserves it. The man was sitting on his own couch. Comes in, walks in. All right, yeah, give me the ball. Give me the ball 8 times. Don't worry, I got you. I'll get close to 100. You know what I'm saying? It's a preseason game, limited snaps. Let's go. And did exactly that. We didn't get to see Jadon Blue because of injury. We got to see Phil Maffa, and what we said, the limited times that we've seen Phil Maffa, he's been serviceable. He's a good back. Is he going to give you the splash plays like you want? Probably not. He's a bigger back, 6'1", 232, something like that. He's a bigger back. He doesn't have that breakaway speed, but Malik Davis does. I love Deuce Vaughn. I do. I love Deuce Vaughn. Great story. Great story. Your dad works for the Cowboys. You're coming into the league, and we pick you up. It's a great story. But just like Malik Davis, now, I'll say this for Deuce, just like Malik Davis, the previous regime did not know what to do with him. So he didn't get an opportunity. I'm not going to cast disparagement on Deuce. No, because the kid, just like Malik Davis, deserves a shot. He deserves a shot. But yet, you have Malik Davis, you have Miles Sanders here fumbling handoffs. You got Miles Sanders here not hitting the holes that he needs to hit. So how can you expect how can you not give these other guys a shot? Give them their shot, man. I want to see Deuce this game. I want to see Deuce, Malik, and Jadon Blue. That's who I want to see. I've seen enough of Miles Sanders. I know how that story goes. Somebody asked me if I was going to watch the documentary. This is what I told them. I lived that documentary. I lived it already. I don't need to know the ins and outs. I know behind the scenes, off the field, the Cowboys wasn't shit. We were horrible people. Not all of us, but most of us. Michael Irvin, some of the things he did, now he wouldn't be in the league. Leon Lett, some of the things he did, oh yeah, you wouldn't be in the league. Half the team, honestly. You wouldn't be in the league. Jerry Jones would have been canceled. I've already lived that documentary. I don't want to have to go watch it. I already lived it. That's how I feel about Miles Sanders. I lived this documentary before. I've seen that before. trying to retread. No, you can't retread tires. You got to go get some new ones. You got to go get some new tires. You can't just retread tires. Come on. Javonte Williams, we haven't seen him. We've seen him in practice, but that's practice. Not live action, not live fire. That's what we've seen. I ain't got no tissues in here. That sucks. That's the biggest. That's probably one of the biggest gripes. The guys that they're saying are cemented, we haven't seen anything. Fine, practice. Whoopity do. They were there in practice. They did this in practice. They held each other's hands in practice. What are you going to do in live fire? Can I see production in live fire? If I can't see the same production that you had in practice, when there's dudes actually hitting you, not just a thump. No, I'm talking like wrapping you up, throwing a shoulder into you. Am I saying that Malik Davis can go out there and go for over 105 carries? No, I'm not saying that, because every game is different. Every defense is different. You're going to play different teams. Everybody's going to have a game plan. But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. You got a first-year head coach, play caller head coach. First-year play calling head coach. He showed you nothing in preseason. He showed you absolutely nothing in preseason. You have the advantage. So if you can't do the simple stuff great, how can I expect you to pick up on this playbook? You can't even do the simple stuff great, Miles Sanders, Jalen Tolbert. You can't do any of the simple things great. At least Andrew Booth got a pick six playing in a simple defense. At least Andrew Booth did that. We had 3 picks this preseason. Andrew Booth, Israel McQuamu, and Keemon Hall. The 3 guys that are fighting for a spot on this team. Israel McQuamu deserves to be on this team. I think Keemon Hall, and we already discussed it, Dacos. Andrew Booth is probably going to make this team. He's gonna make this team, but don't count all your chickens before they hatch. Maybe, just maybe, there's a guy out there on another team that's about to be cut that can make more hay that's a lot better than what Andrew Booth is. That's a lot better than what Keemon Hall is. That's a lot better than what Miles Sanders is. That's a lot better than Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. That's a lot better than Josh Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Brooks probably has a spot on this team based on special teams. Same thing with Ryan Flournoy. People are missing that part about Ryan. All they're seeing is, oh, well, he got open, but he couldn't catch a pass because the balls were being thrown everywhere else but to him. These guys are really giving you everything, or at least some of them. Some of them are really giving you everything. They're really giving you everything that they got. I want to say Sam Williams is, but I haven't seen anything. And I love Slam Williams. I think Slam Williams is phenomenal when healthy, when giving it his everything. Don't wait until the last practice or the last preseason game to do it. It should be consistently. And that's one of the things a lot of these dudes lack, consistency. That's one of the things that's probably going to make sure that they ain't got a spot on this team. Lack of consistency. So don't count all your chickens before they hatch, man. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. He's talking about surprise cut, surprise retainment. We shall see. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to tomorrow, which I will be going live on for. I think I'll be going solo dolo tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'll be going solo dolo tomorrow. Hopefully, I get a little bit more viewers than one. You know, you're my guy. I love the fact that you're here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just I just want this team to be great. And if moving on from players who are just looking to retread gets me where I want to be, I'm fine with it. I am fine with it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and complain. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the game like I always do. Before I started this content creation space, I was just a viewer. I was just a dude who just sat back and enjoyed watching the game, whether we won or lost. You know what I'm saying? If it was a dumpster fire, it was a train wreck, I couldn't turn my eyes away from. It's a train wreck I couldn't look away from. You know what I'm saying? But now, doing this content creation thing, I'm more invested than I thought I would be. I mean, I've always been invested in the Cowboys. I was always able to have conversation. But now in this space, I feel more invested. I feel like it is my duty to try to give you the best takes that I can. You know what I'm saying, again, I'm not Vach. I'm not Boss Cowboy. I'm not CFT. I'm not Law. I can't give you video and break it down. I can't, because I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? But what I can do is tell you what I see and speak on it. That's what I can do. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this Michael Irvin and Jerry Jones conversation. I think there's a lot of fluff coming from that with Jerry. I'm not on anybody's side. I am not on anybody's side. Where I'm at with it is, I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both sides. I mean, I think that I personally think that David Mulligetta is trying to get as much as he can out of the Cowboys to line his own pockets. But I also think Jerry Jones was trying to probably do some underhanded shit. You know what I'm saying? By not involving the agent. You know what I'm saying? That is bad. That is bad business practices. That is bad business practices. You can't do that. You can't just go to someone without their agent and think that just because we talked about it, it's a handshake deal and that's all there is to it. Like, you sign here. No. We talk about it. I tell you, cool, I like the sound of that, even though I wanted to do this last year. I like the sound of that. How about we draw it up, send it to my agent? That's how good business practices are done. That's how good business practices are done. If you can't do that, then you get what we got here. You get what we got going on now. And it sucks. I love Michael Parsons. I don't want to see him on no other team. I don't want to see him go anywhere, because Mike is probably one of the best defensive linemen, one of the best defenders that we as Cowboys fans have seen since DeMarcus Ware. Gotta say it. As Cowboys. Not in the NFL, as Cowboys. DeMarcus Ware was everything to this defense, and we moved off of him. He won a Super Bowl, and that was it. We struggled until we've seen Michael Parsons. Because let's not forget, man, after DeMarcus Ware, it was real bleak defensively in Dallas. It was real bleak. We had the offense. We just couldn't put it together with the defense. Now we have a bit of defense. We're trying to regain said defense. And we have a really good offense, hopefully. We don't know what shot he's going to do. We're not sure how he's going to present. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, we're not even sure how Eberflus is going to present, because all we've been seeing is super vanilla. Or at least that's what we've been told. Super vanilla. That's what we've been told. That's what we're going off of. When I have these conversations, that's what I go off of. Oh, okay, well, we're just playing in a vanilla offense. So the sky is not falling, people. Just relax. The sky isn't falling. This is just a vanilla offense. In the preseason, that really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters about preseason is player evaluation. You're evaluating the individual. Back to Micah. He's removing stuff off of Twitter. You already know that he requested a trade, which we know that Jerry's not going to do that. Jerry Jones was talking today about, well, I mean, technically we have Micah for the next 3 years because I can have him play out the rest of his actual 5th-year option of his contract and then franchise him and then franchise him again. You know what I'm saying? So technically we got 3 years and they can get the deal done anywhere in between now and then. That's what he says. I'm going to be honest. Jerry Jones is full of shit. David Mulligata is full of shit. Okay? Because as your agent, if he has your best interests at heart, what he's going to tell you is when you come to him and say, bruh, I don't need to be the highest paid. I don't. I just want to get the deal done. You go to Jerry and say, Jerry, I understand 2024, Dak and CD were the priority. Fine. We'll wait till 2025. But when we get to 2025, we'll get something done. But instead, people want to be pig-headed. I don't do contracts with agents. Bullshit. You did it with Dak and CD. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it with Deron Bland and Tyler Smith. So that's bullshit. We know that's bullshit. And I thought we had a deal. There are no such things as handshake deals anymore, especially in business of this magnitude. We're talking about millions upon millions upon millions, tens of millions of dollars, possibly hundreds of millions of dollars. No one is doing a handshake deal. It doesn't work that way. Lawyers and agents get involved, especially when it comes to that. You got to get the verbiage right. You got to make sure the years are good. And the figure is good. Now, again, I honestly believe Micah Parsons when he says, I don't want to be the highest paid defensive lineman. I don't want to be the highest paid non-quarterback. I don't. Because being the highest paid guy means you can't do anything with this team to make sure I stay clean. You gave Dak George Pickens. Hopefully, some semblance of a run game. You got him 2 first-rounders. In fact, you got 3 first-rounders on the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? That's what you've given Dak, the highest paid quarterback. Do something for Micah. He doesn't need to be the highest paid, like he said. Jerry, you can try to hold his feet to the fire as much as you want. But we all know if you were to sign Micah at a cheaper rate, you still wouldn't have done anything to put pieces around him. We know that for a fact. We all know that. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I know for a fact, if you'd have paid Michael when he wanted to get paid, however much you were going to pay him, you still weren't going to do anything around him. Now, the things that we've seen in preseason gives me hope that there is more around him. If you hold on to James Houston, if Donovan Ezeraku actually works out, Marshawn Nealon is better this year coming off of the injury. You've got things around him. You got Jay Towie, a big trash can full of dirt, who takes up double teams. Somebody's going to get open. It's just like the wide receivers. You can't block everybody. Like, somebody's going to get open. You can't block everybody. So, Jerry, David, quit fucking around and get this shit done, bro. Pardon my language, but just quit fucking around and get this shit done. This should not be that hard. Jerry, get over put your ego to the side. Oh, I'm going to show them that, who really runs this. We know who runs it, you. Put your ego to the side. You want to win? I heard you say a couple years ago, I'll sign the biggest check I got to in order to win the Super Bowl. Well, here's your chance. Here's your chance. In fact, threefold. You sign Tyler Smith, George Pickens, and Micah, then I'll believe you. Until then, no, I don't believe you. I don't ride for Jerry Jones. I am a cowboy. I don't ride for Jerry Jones. I used to wear a number on my back too. I ride for the players. That's who I ride for. I ride for the players. Those are the dudes I spend my hard-earned money for. Yeah, Jerry, you make money off of it, but you also pay those guys. So I know where my money is going when I buy Cowboys memorabilia. I don't ride for Jerry Jones. I don't give a fuck about an agent. I don't. I don't care about an agent. I don't give a fuck about your pockets. I gotta get up and go to work every day. I don't give a fuck about your pockets, bro. You are the agent of about 40, 50 dudes out there in the NFL. You make money. So if you're being so greedy as to say, no, hold on, Micah, we're going to try to get them for more. That's stupid. Especially when your client is telling you, I don't need all that. I don't need all that. Remember, he has the Bleacher Report. He has, I believe it's Adidas, and several other avenues where he's making crazy money. If he's telling you football money means nothing right now, I'll take a cheaper rate. What, X amount of years? Like, I'll be fine if Micah says, all right, extend me for 3 years, $190 million fully guaranteed. That means he comes back to the table in 3 years. Then he can hit him again. So, like, I'm not understanding this whole, like, I read a lot of comments. I'm not understanding this whole, well, Mike is being greedy. It's not Micah Parsons. He specifically told you, let's get a deal done. You can say Jerry's being greedy. The boy makes money hand over fist. He makes money the minute the lights go on in Dallas Stadium. He makes money regardless. The minute we go on to YouTube and watch DallasCowboys.com, he's making money. You listen to 105.3 The Fan, he's making money. The dude's making money regardless. Every time we turn on the TV, he's on ESPN. He's talked about. They're relevant. Even though almost everything that they say is negative, a bunch of vitriol. Jerry is a master manipulator. Jerry is probably one of the smartest businessmen in the NFL. In fact, the smartest businessman, only franchise worth $12.8 billion. And you mean to tell me you won't pay this man? Oh, I'm doing everything I can for the fans. If you cared about the fans, my man, you would pay this dude, pay Tyler Smith, pay Deron Bland, and let's be done with it. Let's be done with it. But instead, you want to let your ego get in the way. I don't give a damn about your ego, Jerry. I care about this football team being better than it was last season. I care about this football team doing something in 30 years, doing something that they haven't done in the past 30 years. That's what I care about. Other than that, give a fuck about you. Like, I am not a Jerry Jones Cowboys fan. I am a Cowboys fan. The dudes who put on those jerseys, put on those helmets, step out on that field, put their bodies on the line. Those are the dudes that I am a fan of. Those are the dudes that I am going to rock with. For better or for worse, because I've done it for the past 43 years. When I remember watching football, when I go back and I remember falling in love with the game, I got to see 3 Super Bowls. Unfortunately for me, they were all in the Jerry Jones era. 3 Super Bowls. And after those 3 Super Bowls, Jerry, you prioritized money. You prioritized publicity over this team getting back to where they were. You created, you made this. This team has grossed $9.4 billion in the 30 years we ain't done shit. Do you know, if you really care about money, Jerry, do you know what winning cost will get you? Do you know what winning will get you? If you won a Super Bowl, this year, you could probably add another $6.5 billion to that revenue. You could probably add that if we won, if you took it seriously. But all you care about is publicity. You heard what he said. Oh man, this is a 24/7, 365-day-a-year soap opera. Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful. General Hospital. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is. This is a soap opera. And when it gets too stale, I stir it up again. Why? You're bringing negative connotations onto this team. Do you understand how that affects a team? The toxicity of it. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's fucking crazy. Well, all in all, I just want the Micah Parsons contract to get done, and any other contract that deserves to be done to get done. That's what I want. For anybody watching on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Join me. Hit the like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I just want this team to succeed, man. And like, maybe I'm thinking a little too far ahead going into the regular season. I'm still going to try to stay away from the Eagles for right now until after roster cuts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure we're going to see more when it comes to practice after roster cuts, so we can get somewhat of a better view, an idea of what this team can be. I'm excited for George Pickens. I'm excited for CeeDee Lamb. I'm excited for Kevontae Turpin, Jake Ferguson. I think he's going to have a big year. I'm excited for Dak being healthy. I'm not even gonna say it because everybody else says it. Well, what if not? Damn the what ifs. He's healthy. Let's keep it at that. I'm excited for Deron Bland. I'm excited for Kyrie Elam. I'm excited for these linebackers. Honestly, I'm excited for these linebackers. Maris Leofau. I'm excited for K9. I'm excited for Jack Sanborn. They've showed some good things. They showed some promise. I'm just hoping that it all comes together. You know what I'm saying? Now, keep in mind, everybody's talking Super Bowl and, the expectation is to play off. This is a first-year head coach with a first year of his scheme being implemented. If they do that with the element of surprise, get to the playoffs and further, take that as a win. Take that as a win. If they don't be too down, because this is year one. This is year one. I'm not expecting Shiny to come out and say, fuck it, we're going to go balls to the walls and we're going to win every game. If we go 17-0, I'll be surprised. But until then, we are 17-0 until we're not. I'm not going to sit here and put excess expectation on a team who already gets that excess expectation from in-house and then out there in the world. I'm not going to do that because that's not fair. I'm not one of those Cowboys who's going to say, well, it's our year. We all hope it is. I hope it is. But if it's not, that's what everybody else is going to say. Oh, you're delusional. It's been 31 years since you. I don't care. This is a year-to-year league. Okay? This is a year-to-year league. The teams that win the Super Bowl probably have a likelihood of not going back the next year. Shit. Pardon me. Probably have a likelihood of not going back the next year. If they get back, it's because they kept the same core and they understood the assignment. But that is hard to do, to repeat. It is hard to do. It's hard to even get to the Super Bowl. It's hard to do. So I'm not gonna sit here and put unrealistic expectations on this team. This is a young team. They're just getting it going. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. But this your boy Hoodie Kush. Been on for about an hour. And yeah, that's my time. I appreciate you being here. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm 13 away from 100. And I just want to grow from there. I appreciate y'all being here, man. Like, real talk. Without y'all, I couldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all rock, bro. Dallas Cowboys for life. It's your boy Hoodie Kush, the Basement Boys. Peace.